What is cool if you're handsome but creepy if you're ugly? Winking. Sucks for ugly cyclopses. I have a friend who has women literally swoon over him. Like, I thought that sort of stuff only happened in movies and cartoons until I met him. He is also clumsy as fuck. He has spilled drinks over women, knocked them over, accidentally hit them because he was using his arms too much when telling a story, etc. I've never seen a woman get mad at him once. If anything, they're glad it happened. Facial hair. A mustache can work if you look like Tom Selleck or Sam Elliott. Most of the time you look like a SX case that is probably on a register somewhere. Beards can also look great on a good looking guy but on a not so conventionally handsome man. They can make one look like a deranged street person. Sometimes beards can turn an unattractive man into an attractive man. For example, men with weak chins. Literally anything that can be construed negatively or positively can be decided by a person's attractiveness. Standoffish and unfriendly, strong and uncaring, decisive, or a sholish and arrogant, quiet and antisocial, somber and stoically deep, or weird and uncomfortable, talkative and loud, magnetic and charming, or childish and obnoxious. I could go on, but the point is there. Of course society isn't as black and white and there are other attractive elements that decide this difference in perception between physical appearance. That is assuming to a degree personative charisma, or an attractive personality as well, but that doesn't change the fact of natural over-exaggeration in negative and positive perceptions of attractive and less attractive people. Certain eyeglasses. If you're hot it's stylish, but if you're ugly you look like a sex offender. I feel aviator shades amplify this effect. Okay, I'm going for the creepiest answer award. Talking to children. Edit for boring bonus anecdote. I had an empty seat next to me on a long distance bus. A small girl was put to the bus all by herself by her granny because the bus was fully booked or something and only the girl got a ticket. Granny asked around who could look after her for the trip. I would have liked to, as I've worked as a kindergarten teacher. But being a dude, waited in silence a long while until a young woman in front of me volunteered. The girl's parents were thankfully waiting for her at the destination city, so it's not like she was abandoned. But it was a weird situation. The end. Let's say you have a higher tolerance buffer in a lot of contexts. Seriously. People give you way more benefit of the doubt when you're handsome. Imagine if Danny DeVito and Henry Cavill walked by a woman on the street and ran after her, chatting her up and asking her out. One would be considered a total creep. But when you're handsome like Danny DeVito it'd be considered bold and romantic. Flirting. Flirting can be extremely creepy coming from attractive guys too. They are sometimes the worst offenders cause they're so overconfident. I once was called creepy for sitting alone at lunch minding my own business. I hate that. What's wrong with wanting to spend some time by myself? Introvert problems. Being the male protagonist in a romance movie. Yup. If the main guy in 50 Shades wasn't a good looking guy, it would have been a horror film. Being shy. I've been called a creep too many times to count because I get social anxiety. Who the FCK calls others creeps? WTF. The only person I would call a creep is someone who doesn't take no for an answer and keeps chasing girls with lustful eyes because people are too polite to get mad at him. Nah, I still wouldn't. I'd give the ole wink wink nudge nudge first. Being quiet and antisocial. I have a son that is incredibly good looking. Because he is handsome they find him mysterious, brooding, haunting, sexy. He's actually just really shy and a bit anxious and doesn't like social situations. If he were ugly, he'd be a creep AF. Even being friendly. I used to work in a very predominantly female field. I had to orientate new hires. One of the most common things I ask at the end. If there's anything you have a question about or that or need answered for, you let me know. We'll figure it out. The amount of times I heard I'm married or ugh I have a boyfriend was ridiculous. I got married and my wife said you shouldn't be so nice, women get the wrong idea. You are nice and don't want anything. And many women don't understand that. It's very infuriating. 365 days. Imagine it with an ugly guy. So basically, kidnapping. Edit. I don't like the movie and I don't think it's cool. But I have some friends that like that movie and don't think it's creepy or something, so that's why I wrote it. My girlfriend and her best friend adore this movie. I felt crazy because I was violently uncomfortable the whole time and kept whispering, but this is just rape, to their protests of how it wasn't and it was all actually well intentioned. I can't wrap my head around it. The movie was basically just softcore porn with a creepy kidnapping rape plot. Emo. Sitting on a park bench watching your child play. Karens definitely react differently. Saturday morning after spending hours crying and just throwing on sweats and taking your kid to a park. Excuse me, can you move? You're making my kids uncomfortable. Saturday morning after you've showered, shaved, and have car keys and a polo on. Oh hi, how are you doing? Double quote. The South is weird. Long hair for men. Short hair for women. If you are overweight it's worse. Flirting. Or even being nice. If you're attractive it's okay 99% of the time. If you're unattractive it's creepy and disgusting. Exactly. People say confidence is attractive and can compensate for being unattractive. But the truth is that confidence is only attractive when the person displaying it is attractive. Of course. People often mistake arrogance for confidence all the time. Which further clouds matters. Stalking. Movies romance the idea for handsome types and vilify it when someone isn't handsome. Realistically it's always bad. Being into video games and anime. Ugly gamer equals loser. Boring. Hot gamer equals quirky. Fun. Noticing details. Fat. Short and pimply Sherlock with shrill voice. My lady. Your lipstick is too worn for your story to make sense. Also your shoulders have red lines from bra straps chafing them, yet you are not wearing any right now. Flirting. Asking us out. Being a weeb or nerd. Inviting a random person walking in the street to your place. So it was 6 AM and I was walking home wasted from Subway to my place and some handsome dude tried to chit chat and eventually invited me over. I laughed about how random it was. Afterwards. I know I would define this creepy if the dude was an ugly one. Oopsie. Asking someone on a date. I once worked at a local pool as a lifeguard. While I was working there a co-worker, female, laid a complaint against a customer for asking for her number. The customer even got a warning from one of the pool's managers. Fast forward to less than 1 month later and the same co-worker is going on a date with a customer who asked for her number while she was at work. Apparently it was okay for him to ask because he was cute, but the other customer was uglier, so he should have known to stay away anyway. Apostrophe. I hated working at that place. The people were weird. An eye patch. Honestly. Handsome men with an eye patch command respect for having survived combat, whereas ugly men with an eye patch signal you done walked in the wrong hood. Or are aboard a pirate ship. Matey. Wearing speedos. Nope. Not even when you're attractive. Honestly. Pretty much anything. Name any bold fashion choice. Accessory. Hairstyle. Facial expression. Or human interaction. And it becomes creepy on an ugly dude, or any ugly person. For men. Being in a relationship with an attractive woman. If you're handsome, people think you guys make a cute couple. If you're ugly, or even slightly below average, people either think the girl is a gold digger, or just get plain jealous because they think they are a better option for her than you are. Any kinds of pickup lines. Girls will swoon over whatever Netflix writes for their hostage Noah Centipede to say in his latest movie, but if that exact sentence was said to them by someone who isn't conventionally attractive, it becomes desperate and cringy. Staring at someone from across the bar. Or any room really. Trying to form a relationship with a new person that exceeds saying hi every once in a while. This makes me think of Chappell's joke on how if it had been Brad Pitt and not Harvey Weinstein, none of the women would have come forward about misconduct abuse. Prolonged eye contact. I swear you've gotta be at least a 6. Generous 7 for this to not freak someone out. I'm sure the guy on the bus to town from 6 years ago agrees. How much worse is when you space out and blankly stare through someone without realizing. Living in a Volkswagen van. Handsome equals hippie. Clean carbon footprint blag ugly equals creepy and homeless. My friend who is a full-time bikini model burps a lot. Like. She has to take medicine to do it less than she normally would. Dudes think it is so adorable. I burp once and it's like I just took a shitty on the floor. Woo. Basically everything a guy can do. Ugly guy does it, it's creepy rape. Why? If the girl is attracted to you though, it's charming and delightful. As a man in his late 20s. Doing anything alone. I love to go out to eat solo. Go for walks, to think, listen to music. Read a book in the park. Act. But due to being a balding heavier nerd, people assume I'm some creep while ignoring other guys like they belong there. Long hair on men. If you're average and above, long hair will make you look like a rock star. If you're below average with long hair, people will call you a neckbeard. At a certain point, just existing can be seen as creepy. I have been asked to leave stores, thrown out of bars, even had the cops called on me once for just minding my own business. People stop seeing you as a person and just as something to be avoided. Probably being really good at a video game. An ugly guy gets seen as a basement dweller with no life. A handsome guy gets seen as a smart and dedicated pro. Unsolicited comments. Whether it's the office or a bar, chances are you'll be either accepted or tolerated for bad comments if you're attractive. But if you're not, you'll get security or HR called. Saying something specific looks good or is attractive. Like hair, eyes, outfit. Attractive, you get an "oh thank you." Non-attractive and you get weird looks and looks of disgust. That's a cute baby. If you're beautiful, she says thank you. But if you're ugly and you have a big stomach, she says get away from me and my baby. Double quote. Especially if you lick your lips right after. Just flirting in general. If you have pearly white teeth, great hair and make people become hot under the collar just looking at them, you can flirt endlessly. If you're ugly AF, then you probably would just be accused of harassment. Can address this from both angles. Was very attractive when younger. Have not aged well. Flirting was fun. It isn't any longer because I am self-conscious. It's a little out of left field, but having long hair. Some guys can pull it off and others it's just bad. You can tell the difference by what type of shoes they wear. Prove me wrong. It's interesting how society accepts it. This is coming from the ugly person, but just so damn interesting how that handsome man can be truly ugly on the inside, can get away with these things, while the ugly person that looks like the handsome person on the inside doesn't get time of day. That being said, I think this applies to women just as much, and they can get away with much more. On TV shows, women can scream "take it off" to a hunk and he may laugh and then take off his shirt to his chiseled chest. Had a man said "take it off," he'll be out of a job the second the SJWs hunt him down in order to ruin his life. Everything that Jim did in the office, prior to him and Pam getting together. Keeping little trinkets from years before, like hot sauce packets, pencils, lingering around her desk constantly. Things like that where, if he wasn't attractive and there wasn't clear sexual tension, would have been creepy. Probably said here 50 times already, but flirting or smiling at someone. Sexual harassment is unwanted and uncomfortable sexual advances. Do you think Brad Pitt or George Clooney ever gave out unwanted sexual advances? Everything you as an ugly male do towards a female of interest is creepy if she isn't attracted to you. Even just passing her by in the hallway at work. Talking to women in general. Now I am middle-aged and average looking. Most girls 20-30 cringe when I talk to them. Until I tell them my wife is their age and I have no interest in them besides conversation while we wait in line. Then they treat me like their gay best friend. I should add, when I was younger and attractive, most women would blush or be shy. Now it's pretend not to hear me until I start talking about my wife. Wearing your pants up to your tits. It's a fashion statement if you're hot, but if you aren't, you're just a fool with a camel toe. Taking off your shirt and dancing on the table shirtless at the company Christmas party. IDK getting at by some girl in an alleyway, or however you spell it. I can't spell very well, I forgot English even though at my main lang. Cheeky sexual comments. Any compliment or flirty comment you make to a woman. Basically pretty much anything you say to a woman. I've also come to realize that while people rely heavily on defense mechanisms and can fickle, they may also call others creepy as a blanket term for the real life social equivalent of an upvote. Look at the Korean boy bands. Some of them put on makeup and people call them pretty boys. Try putting makeup on someone ugly. Don't underestimate the power of makeup. Nothing. Women don't dislike you being creepy because you're ugly. It's about context. Also, people pointing out things that handsome guys get away with in fiction doesn't count. I'm not saying this is incel territory, but some of these comments certainly speak the language. I got away with randomly dipping a girl, like imagine if we were dancing, who ran into me on a staircase at a party. She ended up saying wow, that was super hot, and taking me home with her. I can't see getting away with that type of shit if I were ugly. As always, Sunny stated in an amazing sexual harassment based episode. Anything that can be construed as flirty or cheeky or remotely sexual is more acceptable the more attractive you are to the person it's aimed at. It's sad but it's true. Chatting up girls on the bus. Hot guy did it once I was waiting. Was cool. Turned out we went to high school together. Old or ugly men do it. I'm uncomfortable and you're pushing my boundaries. Then again, he was straight up nice. And didn't invade my space, which probably helped. Never ended up going out. But still. Only good flirting anyone ever did to me on public transit, LMAO.